Story time about how my ex-boyfriend and my ex-best friend are engaged to be married right after we broke up. Disclaimer, I'm using fake names, and also please do not get into it with any of their family members on social media because I've already dealt with that. Okay, so boyfriend and I were together for about a year and a half. We lived together, we had a dog together. We broke up beginning of January. His friend and I were friends for about 5 to 6 years. I would have considered her my sister. I was very close with her parents. She was there for me in a lot of dark times, and I feel like I was there for her. I told her pretty much everything about my life. So me and boyfriend started having consistent issues, and I think we both just kind of realized things weren't going to work out. Towards the end of last year, I had a trip planned to go see my mom in Pennsylvania for the holidays. He didn't want to go. We were going to also take a drive up to New York City to go experience that around Christmas time. He didn't want to go, so I brought my best friend with me, and she saw my family for the holidays, and we went up to New York together. So on this trip, I'm kind of talking to her about our relationship and how I'm kind of conflicted on what to do, and she's very adamant that I should break up with him. She's telling me I deserve better, we should have been engaged already, all of the things. Yeah. Anywho, so when I get back from New York, I'm pretty positive that that's kind of how things are gonna go. Anywho, beginning of January, we end up breaking up. About mid-January, I packed all my things and moved in with my friend. So through all this, I'm talking to my best friend. I'm saying, you know, like how I feel about the situation. She's coaching me through this whole thing, like so excited to have a hot girl summer. She's so glad I'm single for the first time. Like, he was terrible anyways. You know, like, mind you, through the relationship, she always said he wasn't attractive. He always said she was very outgoing, I'll word it that way. They never really had nice things to say about each other. They communicated some over text. She was trying to do a bodybuilding show, so she would send him pictures, kind of, to get his opinion because he was a personal trainer. And I allowed it because these are the two people I trusted most in my life. Like, this is my sister and I thought was going to be husband. Anyways, so me and him end up deciding it's hard for us to be away from each other, and so we're gonna work on things. So this is going on for the span of like January. There was actually a big snowstorm in Arkansas, and we ended up like staying together, eating dinner together, all the things, like basically being together, but we weren't. Beginning of February comes around, he's kind of being a little bit iffy, like the week leading up to Valentine's Day. I come to him about it Friday night, the day before Valentine's Day, I think it was. He's very adamant. I asked him several times, are you seeing another girl? He promised to my face, like on the phone, no. I was like, if you are, just tell me. Anyways, he then turns off his location, and I'm like, why'd you turn your location off? And he's like, there's no reason. I'm like, okay. So he's like, do you want me to just leave you alone for tonight? And like, I won't bother you. Like, I know you're really going through it. I try to call him and he doesn't answer. So then I'm like, okay, mind you, my apartment that I'm staying in now with my friend is like right across the street from our old apartment. I drive past. I'm just a girl. He's not home. Okay. I call my best friend. You know, hey, he's not home. I think he's with a girl. She's like on the phone with me like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's like basically lying to my face. Okay. So I go to bed the next morning. I wake up, I go up to his work, and I confront him because he has yet to answer me. And I'm like, hey, I know you were with a girl last night. Like, just be honest with me. You know, I would have never done this to you. You know the deal. I don't even have to go there. Anyways, he's kind of just like laughing in my face and tells me he's been talking to another girl for like over a week. I call my best friend as soon as I leave, and I'm like, I'm never talking to him again. Like, this is so hurtful. And she's like, oh my gosh, that sucks so bad. Like, forget him anyways, you know. Well, then she starts becoming distant. I planned to move to Pennsylvania to be with my family. That was kind of just like the final push that I needed. I'd already been thinking about it. So I'm getting ready to move. I'm trying to like call her about seeing each other and hanging out, and she's like kind of dodging me. Anyways, I finally moved to Pennsylvania. I get a call. Shout out Ella Kate. She calls me and lets me know that actually our old sorority sister spotted them together in the Home Goods, my ex-best friend and my ex-boyfriend. They were shopping together. I texted them both a paragraph about how I felt about that situation, and she kind of just responded with, "This was never supposed to happen, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry, I know you're never gonna talk to me again." Yeah. I never really got answers as to how, why, when, where, any of the things. And yeah, and then I found out through the grapevine that they are now engaged. That was February. It is now June the 1st. I found out they were hanging out mid-March. So there's no telling, no, like beginning of March. There's no telling how long that was going on for. I'm assuming she was with him the night before Valentine's Day when I was calling, trying to figure out who he was with. I don't speak to either of them anymore, obviously. If you guys support that situation, please block me, because I don't want to associate with you, because that's sick and weird. In all seriousness, I laugh about the situation frequently. I think it's hilarious. Maybe I can't process it yet, but you know, if people can do that to someone, then they deserve each other. I wish them nothing but blessings and pray for them and hope that God works in their lives, because that is not very kind to do to someone. So yeah, happy wife, happy life.
The most bizarre thing happened to me last night. Yesterday I was getting off the bus, and when I got off at my stop, a larger, older man got off as well. And when I get off, I'm on the street and I'm walking to where I'm going, and I hear him behind me and he says, "Excuse me, I don't mean any harm." And I was like, ooh, really? And most people would have booked it after that line, but I was like, let me hear him out. Why? He opens with a really alarming sentence, but again, I am naive and bored because I don't know why I even entertained this, but he said, "I just got out of prison and I have $12,000 in cash in my backpack. Would you do me a favor?" And I was like, yes, I would love to. Honestly, at this point in my mind, I don't know why I was still here. I was kind of sticking with the story. And honestly, he seemed kind of harmless. I was like, okay, what's up? Like, let's hear about it. This is going to be a great story. Just don't point a gun at me and then I can tell the internet, but go ahead. He goes, "I just got released and I'm looking to get a massage." And I was like, okay. He was like, "Full body massage." And I was like, well, I'm not working tonight, okay? I'm not clocking in. I'm off duty. I'm not in the mood. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds fun. Enjoy. And he's like, "Could you help me? I don't have a cell phone." And I was like, you know what? This is going to be funny one day, not today, but soon it will be. So I then take out my cell phone. So when I take out my cell phone, he's like, "You know what massage I'm looking for? Like full body." And I'm like, okay, scalp and toes? Like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not getting massages like that, honestly. And I was like, oh, like a happy ending? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So now I am Googling happy ending massages NYC. My FBI agent tapping into my phone is probably deeply concerned where my brain is going tonight, but I do it because I'm like, absolutely, I would love to help you. This sounds like you really need it. Again, it's maybe around 11 p.m. at night in the middle of New York City. He has a backpack on, I'm assuming with the cash, and he goes, "If you can find me a place to go, I will give you $100. And I'm like, ooh, now it's a Candy Crush. Okay, now it's like a game. I was like, okay, I'm gonna win Flappy Bird. I will find you a place so I can get my cash prize. Absolutely. So I'm typing in all these places. Again, Google isn't going to say they give the best rub and tug here. Like, I would hope not. So I kind of was like scrolling for a bit, and then he starts scrolling and I'm like, okay, what's happening? We're still standing there, and then he goes, "Do you know who I am?" And I was like, "No, please enlighten me. Take the floor." And he was like, "My name is Mandingo. Do you know Mandingo?" And I'm like, "No, is that a family name? What is that? Sounds Irish." I've never heard of that word or name in my entire life. And he's like, "What's your name?" And I'm like, now I'm kind of like maybe a little sus. After 40 minutes of literally sitting on a bus stop with this guy, I was like, maybe this isn't a good idea. So I was trying to give a different name, but I couldn't in the moment. So I was like, "I'm Danielle." And he's like, okay. I just really popped in the A to a E, and I was like, Danielle's gonna keep me protected. After he formally introduces himself, he's like, "Look me up." And I'm like, okay, like now am I with the celebrity? And I was like, okay, which I look up, and he's like, "Type in Mandingo Unleashed." And I was like, okay, so I typed that in. And now, listen, when I'm telling people the story now, they're like, how did you not know what that search was gonna be? I was thinking he just got out of prison. He is unleashed from the shackles. He wanted to see if there was a news article about him before he went home to his mom and pop and wife. You know, like that's where my mind completely went. And I look up Mandango Unleashed, and it wasn't something that would be safe for work. He starts scrolling on my phone, and first it's like an IMDb, and I'm like, oh my God, is this guy like a movie star? And then he's like, no, go to the third one. He's a corn star. And I was like, oh. And then he makes me click on the video. It is a large private part, and he points to it and goes, that's me. And I was like, absolutely. On this note, I have to go. I need to leave. And he was like, come on, Danielle, like, help me get a massage. Where should I go? And I was like, Mandingo, I don't know. I feel like we got too close too fast, okay? Like, we need to take our relationship a little slowly, because me and my friends, we don't immediately watch Korn together. We're not doing that just yet.
Looking back, I like really didn't respect myself. Like, I would just let people do like the worst things to me, and then I would like just pretend like it didn't happen. For instance, last year I was like best friends with these group of guys. Like, I kind of talked about this. We would just get drunk all the time, and I actually have the best stories from that friend group. Like, they were so fucking fun, but they would like do the worst things to me. Like, one like literally like burnt a cigarette out on me, like stuff like that. And there was one in particular that everyone knew was my favorite. Okay, I don't know why I loved him. Okay, something about him. And in my head, we were besties, okay? So one day, we all went to this guy's pool to swim, and we were all like kind of day drinking. I hadn't really eaten, and I just kept drinking and drinking and drinking, and of course, I got wasted. Like, I'm telling you, they would put like a dog shock collar on me and like shock me. Like, they would just do weird things. And I, of course, got wasted, and so we all decided that we should go to like a Mexican restaurant. So that's what we did. We sit down at the restaurant, and I'm like just not even drinking anything. Like, I'm trying to drink water. Like, I'm low-key really drunk. And I can't really remember what started this, but me and like my favorite guy like kept going kind of back and forth. Like, we were just like saying shit like under our breaths, like, you know, like I think it was a joke at first, and then it kind of got a little serious. So he was saying shit, and then I was saying shit, and then that just didn't fly. And he had like a glass of water and was like, I swear to God, say some shit again, and I'm throwing this on you. And so of course me, I'm like, say some shit. And so he throws the water on me, and I'm like soaking wet, and I'm like, oh, really? So I see a plate of salsa, as one does, and I'm like, you really want to do that? And he's like, don't you fucking dare. And so, as one does, I dare, and I chuck it at him, and the salsa gets all over him. He's fucking pissed. He's like the type of guy who like has golden gooses, and he's like, my golden gooses. And so I'm like thinking it's so funny, like, haha, yeah, I got him good. But then he gets like silent, and he's like actually like mad, like really fucking mad, which I guess like I would be too, but like at the same time, don't throw water where you don't want salsa thrown. And he literally drove all of us, so I was dumb to even like cross that line, but he was like, your ass is staying here, like you're done. And I'm like, okay, I don't give a fuck. And so I walk into the bathroom, and I obviously start bawling my eyes out. I think I actually have a video of me sending it to my best friend, being like, oh my God, like he's so mad at me. So obviously I'm talking so much shit with my best friend. And then the other girl that was there like came in and was like, oh my God, I would never let them leave you. Like, he said you can come, like blah, blah, blah. Which she was low-key fake for this, because she made me believe like, okay, we're good. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I walk outside, and then they stop me, and they said, he only said you can if you like ride in like the bed of the truck. And I'm like, you're lying. Like, ha ha ha, that's so funny. Like, you're joking. And they're like, no, he's serious. And so I was proving a point, because I thought I was going to get in the bed of the truck, and then he's going to be like, dude, you're fucking dumb. Like, get in the car. No. I got in the bed of the truck, and he drove away. And he, like, floored it. So I, like, smack into, like, the fucking truck. And then he decides to go, like, 70 on the service roads. Yeah, he's also, like, drunk. Like, he's not sober. And so I'm like actually freaking out. I'm having a full-on panic attack, because I could die. And he decides to go 70, take the sharpest turn, just be crazy while I'm in the bed of the truck. You know, if anything were to happen, I would fly out and I would be dead, not with y'all anymore. So again, I'm having like a full-on panic attack. He pulls up to the house that we're staying at, and I am like, I'm done. Like, I need to get an Uber, and I need to go home. Like, this is so traumatizing, like whatever. So as I'm like standing up and like getting out of the truck, he decides to like gas it and like brake. And so I like stand up, and I like completely fall. Fall like from the other side to the truck to the other side. Like, yeah. And so I hit the
fuck out of the truck. Like, I'm in so much pain. I'm trying so hard, like, not to, like, bawl my eyes out. And he does this, like, probably 2 more times to, like, really put the point. And so I get out and I'm like, oh my God, like I think my best friend was like, I'm gonna just order you an Uber or something like that. I can't really remember. And then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go say bye. And so I go say bye and I'm like, what the fuck? I fucking hate you. Like, whatever. And then I go home. The next day I have like bruises everywhere and everyone's like, what the fuck happened? And I like tell them and they're like, oh, okay. And then like 2 days later, we like hung out again. And like, we were like, okay, truce. Like, ha ha, love you, bro. I'm sorry. I was friends with him after that? Yeah. Actually for like months.
My best friend has been using my pictures to catfish her boyfriend since 2015. Yeah, the last 9 years. I met my best friend, let's call her Zoe, in high school, and we've been close ever since. We went to the same college, and we actually moved in together and became roommates about 2 years ago, and it's been great. Now, flashback to 2015, me and Zoe were literally juniors in high school, and she went on a family trip a few states away to go visit her grandparents or something. And when she came back to school, all she could talk about was this guy that she met. She said that when she was there, she was really bored, and so she downloaded a dating app, and that is where she matched with, let's call him Tony, the love of her life, her moon, her stars, the best man that's ever walked this earth. And she was going on and on about this man. She told me that they had went on several dates. I know now that's a lie. And the connection was immediate. She was like, this is my husband. Like, they say, like, you know when you know, and I know. Okay, whatever. I mean, we were juniors in high school. I didn't really think that it was going to last. They lived in different states, but it lasted. For the past 9 years, Zoe's life has revolved around this man. I mean, she is constantly glued to her phone in case he texts her. She calls him all the time with every little update. She talks about him constantly. I mean, I'm sick of him, and I've never even met him. Now, I've only seen like 2 photos of the guy ever, which is a little weird, but Zoe said that he didn't have any social media and didn't like taking pictures. So whatever. It just wasn't any of my business. I was just letting her do her thing. I just thought it was a weird situation, and I kind of wanted to stay out of it a little bit. But the weirdest thing to me was that in those 9 years, they never saw each other again, which made no sense to me because Zoe called this guy her boyfriend. Like, in college, she never dated at all because she always had a boyfriend. Like, in our friend group, she was known as the girl in the long-term relationship. Isn't that so strange? Like, why in 9 years have you never made a trip to go see each other? And whenever I was feeling a little nosy and I would ask her why they've never seen each other in 9 years, she would always make a million excuses like their schedules didn't line up, they were busy, something came up, yada, yada, yada. And honestly, I guess I just kind of ignored it because every time I heard the two of them talking on the phone, he seemed to be so sweet to her. He was constantly sending her little gifts for every holiday and Valentine's Day and her birthday, and honestly just random things sometimes too if she was having a bad day. So I was like, he's really nice to her. It could be worse. She could have a really mean boyfriend. And now she just has like a weird, not in-person boyfriend. But being blissfully unaware came to an end yesterday when I heard a little knock, knock, knock on me and Zoe's front door. I go to open it, and standing there is some guy I've literally never seen before. So I'm just looking at him. He's looking at me, and I'm like, can I help you? Immediately, he scoops me up in the biggest hug and tries to give me a kiss. Let me tell you, I went full on Karate Kid. I do not even know where those moves came from, but I was kicking, I was screaming. It was stranger danger, okay? Like, who is this man? Now, this man is as shocked as I am with my reaction. So he just starts going, Zoe, like, what's wrong? And I was like, Zoe? And then all of a sudden, I recognize the voice. Now remember, I've seen like 2 photos of this guy. So all of a sudden I put together the voice I've heard her talking to on the phone, these 2 photos, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Tony, is that you? And this man looks so relieved. He's like, yes, it's me, Tony. And I was like, oh my gosh, I had no idea you were coming. And he was like, I thought you were working today. I really wanted to surprise you. I was like, surprise me? Why would you want to surprise me? So I'm like, oh my gosh, come in, like come inside. Zoe is going to be so excited to see you. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I think I just had so much adrenaline rushing through me that I didn't really stop and think about what had happened over the last minute. him calling me Zoe at the door, him seeming to know me when I didn't know him, now him being confused when I said that Zoe's at work, and him saying that he thought I was at work, but he wanted to surprise me. Something's up, something's wrong. So at this point, I am really hoping that he is confused because he didn't hear what I said. So I repeat, I'm like, oh, I said Zoe's gonna be so excited that you're here. Like, I had no idea you were coming. And that's when he's like, what are you talking about? You're Zoe. I was like, I'm not Zoe. I am not Zoe. I'm Kelsey. And me and Zoe don't look anything alike. So it's not just like, because he hasn't seen her in person in a while, he would have confused us. Like, that's definitely not it. At this point, the man is looking unwell. So he asks me if he can sit down. And I'm like, yeah, actually, I need to sit down too because I'm very confused. And we sit down on the couch and he proceeds to tell me that he's been talking to me for the last 9 years. Every photo that Zoe's ever sent him has been of me. He opens up his phone and shows me all the photos she sent, and it's been 9 years of photos. And not just ones that I've put on my Instagram, but like all the little silly photos that I texted her or put in our group chats, ones that came from my mom's social media, like every photo of me she sent to this man. And I think he doesn't want to believe it, so he keeps being like, Zoe, like, why are you doing this? Why are you being like this? And I was like, okay, let me pull up my social media and show photos of me and Zoe, because I am not Zoe, I promise you. He finally believes me, and I am just feeling absolutely sick to my stomach. Like, I don't even know how to process this. Immediately, I can tell he's starting to get angry. So I'm like, wait, let me just call Zoe at work. I'm sure there's an explanation for this. I'm sure you guys can just talk when you get off of work. 1 second, let me give her a phone call. So I call her at work, and I'm like, Zoe, Tony's here. Immediately, she starts freaking out. She's screaming. She's like, I am not coming home. He needs to leave. Tell him to get out. And I'm like, I'm very overwhelmed about this situation right now. Then he takes my phone and he's yelling at Zoe on my phone. I can hear her sobbing through my phone. She's yelling back. She's like, I'm not gonna come home. And he's like, you need to get over here. You need to explain. And I am just there. Like, what am I supposed to do at that point? Eventually, everybody calms down and she says that she's gonna leave work early and come home. And she did. So she gets home and it's immediately the most insane scene I've ever seen in my life. She's sobbing. He's screaming at her that she's a liar because, I mean, she is a liar. And, you know, she just keeps sobbing and saying, I'm sorry. I'm still the same person. I'm the same person. It's just different photos. And he's like, but I'm not in love with you. I've been in love with your roommate for 9 years. And I'm just sitting there like, what am I supposed to say? But every time I keep trying to get up and leave and go to my room, she's like, no, sit down. You're a part of this. I'm a part of it. How am I a part of this? So eventually I tell Tony I think it would be best if he leaves for the night and everyone just gets a good night's sleep, takes a breather, and we could discuss it again in the morning. You know, maybe have a more calm approach to everything. And he does. He leaves. And immediately she starts freaking out at me. She's throwing things around the living room. She's screaming that she hates me, that I betrayed her, that she can't believe I would do this to her. Me? I'm sorry. What did I do in this situation? So I start crying because, okay, I'm sensitive and my best friend is screaming that she hates me. I feel violated. Like, she's been pretending to be me for 9 years. So I pack up all my stuff and I go stay with a friend because I don't want to be there if Tony gets back, okay? I am exiting this situation that I was put in, not on my own free will. The wildest part is that a few hours later, I get a message on Instagram from Tony saying that even though this is weird, he really wants to get coffee with me because when he met me, he felt a connection and he felt such a connection with the photos of me and he thinks I'm his soulmate. So that's great. I haven't reached out to Zoe and Zoe has not reached out to me since this whole situation has gone down and I don't even know what to do about it. I feel so weird. Like, why? Why did she do that for 9 years? Anyway, I have no clue how I'm gonna deal with this situation.
You guys won't believe what happened to me. I got a call from my dad in the evening and it was one of those calls where it sounded serious, like you know, you think you're in trouble. He said, "I will make this brief. When I came out of the house today, there was a man in a suit that asked me, 'Are you Mia McGrath's father?'" He then proceeds to say that he is doing an article for a news publication that I don't care to mention, and they want to interview me about how I have so much in savings. This was after they released an article that I had given no consent or permission to be posted. He then proceeded to basically insinuate that my parents had given me the money. Not to disrespect my beautiful family home in southeast London, I think when this guy got there, saw my dad, saw my home, saw my car, I think he was like, safe to assume that that wasn't the case. Let's just say it's not a mansion. I don't know what this guy's actual motives were, but I think he was trying to find dirt because, you know, to go to this extent, I guess he was trying to find out like what my family situation was. So my dad literally said to him, like, "Why don't you speak to Mia first?" I personally think that he was trying to catch a family member off guard so they would reveal more than I would. But my dad's an acting coach, so he literally works with celebrities all the time, so he knows like how to operate in this situation. Also, he didn't want to give the impression that he was trying to hide anything either, so he gave the guy his number. The next day, he literally calls my dad asking again if he can speak to me. And then, guys, in the evening, he WhatsApped my dad. He basically insinuated that the content that I'm making is dictating to impressionable or inexperienced, in his words, young people about how to save money. He also wanted to interview me to find out how much I make from brand deals, which, by the way, I'm more than happy to be as transparent as I can, but I'm legally not allowed to disclose these things because sometimes I even sign an NDA. This isn't something that I would publicly share what I got from a specific brand. Worst part is, the end of the message said, "You have until a certain time today, or else we will go live with the content without your input." Number one, it feels creepy to doorstep my dad, to involve a family member. Like, fine, like, have a go at me, but don't interfere in my personal life. And something about this just felt very illegal that he was able to do that. The guy literally woke up and thought, "Today I'm going to spend my whole day trying to find Mia McGrath." Like, that is so fucking weird. It confirmed to me that the UK really is a truly miserable place. I was getting hate for living at home. Now the accusation is that I make a lot from brand deals and that is how I'm able to save. And while that may be factually correct, what is wrong with that? I make extra income because I was literally not far off being on minimum wage. Like, what does everyone want me to do? Do you want me to just stay on minimum wage? And it's like, if you watch anyone's personal finance content, it's personal to them. If you want something generic, go on like WikiHow or something, I don't know. I'm aware this is what comes with putting yourself online, just making you guys aware of what's happening. I hope that I can keep being as transparent as I possibly can. This has obviously made me take a step back and reevaluate the way I'm presenting myself, what I actually want to be known for. I actually want to thank anyone that leaves a positive comment and anyone that's just genuinely interested in my journey and supports me. I really appreciate it.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my story time. This is part 2. Let's get it. Let's just get into it. This is the story about how I started eating that cat. If you didn't see part 1, go ahead and watch part 1 before you watch part 2. Go ahead. I'm gonna give you some time. Go ahead. Where we left off at was she booked a flight 1 week to figure it out. My girlfriend said she was coming in a week. So I was like, okay, a week. Wait, a week? What are we talking about? I had to go do some research. Yeah, I was on the internet. I was Googling. I was in low-key, I was type scared. Like, I was type scared because a lot of girls, like, sometimes I be around them and they be smelling like very fishy. Yeah, I digress. Did I mention I'm Jamaican? So we don't do those things. Me not do them something there. I don't do that. Okay? It's not in my culture. Bop, 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 bop. Or the blood. But come here. I guess I'm gonna do it. It is what it is. I'm gonna do it. Hey, gotta try some new shit. Yeah, I started asking my friends. I started asking my boys, like, what's the step number 1? What's step number 2? Like, what I gotta do? Anything that I do, I want to be the best at it. Like, you can't tell me nothing about nothing. Like, I'm the top. Yeah, like, I'm her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't tell me nothing about nothing. So, fast forward. She is on the flight. I am nervous. We was talking for months. So, like, had made her feel like this is not my first time. I am a veteran. I've been doing this for a very long time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was never given that, baby, you my first. Oh God, you my first. Oh God. You know. So, she gets here, she calls me, she's like, I just landed. So I go and pick her up at the airport. On my way to the airport, I'm calling my best friend. I'm calling Manuela. And I'm calling Manny, and I'm like, hey, she's on her way. And I'm so nervous. Like, I'm scared. Like, I'm going to have SB and Max. You know, I've never done that before. Like, I'm about to, you know, I did that before. So I'm like, damn, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even know what's going to look like. Mind you, I have one, so I should know what it look like. But I'm being childish. Like, so I get to the airport and I see her. And mind you, the last time I saw her, we was in Mexico. So you in my city? Like, what's up? Like, what we doing? Ooh, she looked so good. Like, she looked like a snack. Like, I was, Anyways, so she get in the car. I don't speak. My stomach fell to the floor. Like, I was so nervous. I don't speak. Like, because I know what I'm going to have to do. So I'm scared. Did I forget to mention, y'all, that it wasn't only... It was backpack. Like, I never did that. And another thing, and if you don't know what backpack mean, yeah, go look it up, because she brought the pack with her. She's just looking at me, I'm looking at her. She looking me in my eyes, and she could probably tell I'm nervous. I don't know if she could tell, but I'm nervous. So we go upstairs. We chilling. She sits on a couch. You know, she obviously puts her bags in the room or whatever. She sits on the couch, and I'm standing up because I don't want to sit on the couch, because the quicker I sit on the couch, the quicker I'm going to have to start probably doing something, because I've been talking all this. I've been saying that I do this and I'm that, and I lay this down and I'm that girl and da-da-da, and I'm really not that girl. I'm really not. So I sit down right beside her, and she starts touching my leg, and I'm looking at her, and I'm running out of time. The story time taking way longer than I thought it was going to take. You don't have to meet me at part 3.
So when I was in college, I dated this guy who was so diabolically evil to me. We were on and off for probably like 3 years, but we never exclusively dated, because he would tell me that I was his girlfriend, but he was not my boyfriend, which basically meant that he could go out and do whatever he wanted with whoever he wanted, but I had to stay home and be loyal to him. And honestly, in the beginning, I was kind of okay with it, because I was like, I'm not really interested in talking to other guys, so like whatever. But then as I got more feelings for him, I was like, hey, I don't really want you to be talking to other girls. And he'd be like, I would tell him I wanted to talk to other guys, and he'd be like, you can't do that. It's totally different. Like, I can talk to whoever I want, but you can't talk to whoever you want. If that gives you any idea of what our little relationship dynamic was like, right? So this goes on and off. We have like this very tumultuous relationship for a few years. Towards the end, he was turning 21 and I was still 20, so he'd go out to the bars with us, bake for the first time, and I would still kind of like stay home. I was over going to the frat, so I was just like staying in a lot. And he would go out and he would call me and he would ask me to come pick him up from the bars or his friend's house or wherever he was. And normally I would, if we were like on bad terms, he would call me and like kind of use that as a way to get talking to me again, because he would be like, hey, if you don't come pick me up, my car's here, I'll just drive myself home. Is that what you want? I've been drinking all day. And he would like guilt me into coming in and picking him up, so that way we could like reconnect again if I would ghost him or he would ghost me or whatever. He would always be like, oh, well, Sydney's available, and I was always available, of course. So one night he calls me and he's like, hey, can you come pick me up from this bar? We were on good terms at that point, so I'm like, sure, no problem. So I go to this bar, I go to pick him up, and guess what he's doing? He is making out with another girl outside of the bar. Oh, okay, great. And for some reason, he still got into my car and was like, oh, can she come? Can she come? No, she cannot. She cannot. Absolutely not. Neither can you. And I told him to get out. He's like, I'm not getting out. I said, I'm not getting out. Take me home, whatever. So I ended up taking him home, and I was like, this is the last time that I'm ever doing this. So I drop him off, and I'm telling myself, I'm never going to do this again. I'm not entertaining this anymore. So a few weeks go by, we're not talking to each other. He calls me, and I'm like, I ignore it. He calls me again. I ignore it. He calls me again. I pick up. I'm like, what do you want? He's like, can you come pick me up? I'm at so-and-so's house. I'm like, no, I'm not going to come pick you up. Have that girl you were making out with a few weeks ago come pick you up. How about that? And I hang up on him, and I'm feeling so good about myself. I'm like, I finally had self-respect for once. And then he calls me, and he texts me, and he calls me, and he texts me, and he blows up my phone, and he's sending me Snapchats and whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. So I finally answer. I'm like, what do you want? He's like, I just want you. I only want to be with you. Like, can you please come pick me up? I'm at so-and-so's house. Like, and guess what? My car is here. I happened to leave it here earlier. So if you don't come pick me up, I'm just going to drive myself home. And I was like, fine. He knew that was like the way to get me because I didn't want him to drive himself home, and he would. It wasn't like just saying like he had done it in the past. He would just actually end up driving himself home. So whatever. I go pick him up. I take him to his apartment. I'm like, I'm not going up with you. He guilt trips me into going up with him. I'm like, you know what? Fine. I will go up, but then I'm leaving. So I go up. He immediately goes straight to the bathroom because he was so drunk. He would do the same on the phone. He sounded totally coherent. Then I would see him in person. He was basically falling over himself drunk. So he goes straight to the bathroom to like get sick, I'm assuming. His roommate's in the living room, and I'm like, I'm kind of uncomfortable. I'm going to go wait for him in his bedroom. So I go to the bedroom. What do I see? There is a whiteboard with a to-do list on it, and it says, ask this girl out. Are you kidding me? And I knew exactly who the girl was because it was someone, this was back in the day when you could still see the notifications tab on Instagram. And it was this girl who would always like and comment on all of her pictures, like heart emojis, fire emojis, whatever. And we had thought about it before because he would tell me like, I'm only talking to you right now. And then I would see that and be like, well, obviously you're still trying to get this girl's attention. He'd be like, oh, I just do that to give her an ego boost. So I was like, I don't think she really needs an ego boost from you specifically. Like maybe knock that off. If I'm the only girl you're talking to, you shouldn't be doing these things. He'd be like, oh, you're so sensitive. You're so immature, whatever. Like, okay, fine. I'm just sensitive and mature. Then don't talk to me. And he'd be like, oh, but I really care about you. And I'm like, no, you don't. You treat me like garbage. Anyways. So I'm sitting in his room waiting, and I'm just reading that over and over again, and I'm like pissed because I'm like, he never asked me out. He never takes me on dates. Like, what is going on here? So he comes out of the bathroom, and he is so fucking drunk. He starts grabbing at me and telling me I can't leave. It's not fair for me to leave. I can't leave him like this. Come on, like, let's just have a good time. Let's have a good night. And I'm like, no. Do you see the whiteboard? Are you kidding me? And I smacked him across the face because I was just over it. I was so mad. I saw red. I was like, I have never been so mad at you, and you've done a lot of fucked up things to me. I'm leaving. So I start to try leaving. He grabs one of my shoes off the floor, and he's like, you can't leave without your shoe, Sid. You can't leave without your shoe. He starts waving it in my face, and I feel like he's going to hit me in the face with my shoe. And I'm like, you know what? I can leave barefoot if I want, to be honest, and I'm leaving right now. So I go over to the door. He starts to like kind of try to run in front of me. He's so drunk. He's stumbling in front of the door. He ends up pinning me against the door, and he's like, come on, Sid. You can't leave me like this. Like, it's not fair to leave me like this. And I'm like, I need to leave. And I realized that my wristlet was on the floor next to my shoe. So I'm like, I'm going to get my wristlet, which had my pepper spray on it. I'm going to pepper spray him, and I'm going to leave because I was so fucking over it. So I try to run over to my wristlet. He realizes what I'm doing. He gets over there in front of me. He's like, you were going to fucking pepper spray me, you crazy bitch. Like, da-da-da-da. Suddenly, oh, able to talk, totally coherent, totally fine. He's on top of me, pinning me down on the floor and like screaming in my face. And then he looks at me, and I can see in his eyes, there's absolutely nothing going on behind them. And I'd seen that look in his eyes before, and he wound up hurting me pretty badly the last time I saw it look in his eyes. So I was like, you know what? The only option I really have here is to play along. And so he goes, let's just have a good night, Sid. Let's just have fun, Sid. Come on, let's just have fun. And I saw at one point that his roommate was like kind of sticking his head out of his door and looking at us in the living room. So I was like, you know what? This is really embarrassing. And the only way that I'm going to get out of here without getting hurt is if I play along. So I'm like, sure, let's just go to sleep. Let's just wake up tomorrow, have a good day, whatever. Like, let's just have a good night, right? He's like, yeah, let's just have a good night. Let's just have a good night. So he finally gets up off of me, and he's like, come on. He pulls me up off the floor, tries to throw me over his shoulder. He's so drunk. He ends up falling down on top of the couch, and he starts cracking up laughing as if it's the funniest thing that's ever happened. And I'm just standing there. I'm like, what's funny? Like, we both just fell down. Like, what's funny? You basically just threw me to the floor. Like, what's funny? And he goes, you know what? We are just like Jim and Pam from The Office. Isn't that funny? We're just like Jim and Pam from The Office. I said, oh, I don't really remember that scene playing out on TV, but sure, we are just like Jim and Pam from The Office. Yeah, that makes sense.
I've heard some crazy stories with girls dealing with their in-laws. Here's my experience with my in-laws as an Arab girl married into a Pakistani family. Quick summary of my relationship in case you are not up to date and you don't know. I ended up marrying my best friend from dental school. Literally 2 years after being really good friends in dental school, we ended up falling in love, catching feelings. Let him know, like, I'm not gonna get to know you unless, like, your intent is for marriage, and he was on the same page. Literally a month in, I knew he was the one, so we just kept talking. I told my mom about him. He had never introduced a girl to his family or anything like that, so he was really scared, and I was just like waiting on him, like, when are you gonna tell your parents? Funny because I told myself I'm not wearing foundation today, and here I am putting concealer all over my face. But one day we're together in school, randomly out of the blue his mom texts him. She's like, are you talking to a girl? He's like freaked out because he's like, bro, like, this has never happened. She's never asked me any of this. Like, I'm over here sitting like, is he gonna tell her? Because I think it's about time he tells her, you know? Like, I was kind of just like waiting for this moment. Literally in that moment, he calls her right away, and he's like, yeah, I'm talking to a girl. And she's like, send me a picture right now. You guys, quick intermission. I never usually do reverse contour when I do my makeup, but I fear it ate. His mom is like the pickiest person. Like, she has such an opinion when it comes to girls. I think like brown moms are like this. A lot of times brown moms don't want their son to marry Arab girls and vice versa. Honestly, don't know what it is and why people have such an issue like marrying outside of the culture, but each culture thinks they're the best culture and there's no one better. It was like a scary moment waiting for that text to see what she's gonna say, especially for me because I'm like, oh my god, is she gonna hate me? He immediately replies saying, is she Arab? And she sends another message saying, okay. Like, she literally gave her stamp of approval. But I think his dad, when he found out, like, he wasn't used to someone marrying a non-Pakistani or someone from outside of their culture, so at first he was like, I don't know, about this girl. Her family is very much into education, so he told them like, oh, she's a dentist. Even though his dad knew I was a dentist, he told Tamar like, Arab girls are known to not work. Even if she does get her dental degree, there's a good chance she's just not gonna work. Basically insinuating that I'm a gold digger. There's also a lot of just cultural differences and just the fact that like Arabs are known to not eat zabiha a lot of the time. So there were just a lot of things and tough conversations that we just had to like talk about and overcome. I am all up in your face doing my mascara, but I have to do my mascara like this. There's no other way. The more I talked to his dad and like got to know his dad, and after we got married, he literally treated me like one of his own daughters. He literally sees me as one of his own kids. Mother-in-law has been amazing from the jump. Like from the start, we don't have any problems, thank God, because I'm telling you, I hear horror stories about girls and their mother-in-law. Personal opinion, I also think it has to do with the way the son treats the mother-in-law, like if he doesn't like hold his foot down or stand his ground or whatever. But that's another topic for another day. Yeah, that is our relationship. A lot of people ask me on here, how do your in-laws feel about you doing TikTok and social media? So if you guys want that answer in that story time of how they found out, comment down.
Do you want to hear the wildest sex story ever? Of course you do, because you're nosy. Grandma, this video's not for you, okay? I need you to keep scrolling. Okay, I'm gonna give you a minute because I know you're nosy, but if you proceed to listening to this story, you will have a heart attack and I will be getting a phone call, getting screamed at. So I need you to keep scrolling. My sister and her friends were like, Nicole, you have to tell the internet this story because it is a wild story. Okay, now first of all, I would like you to know I never bring strangers home. This was the one and only time I brought a stranger home. Lesson learned, okay? My best friend Taylor and I, who is also my roommate, went to a yoga class, okay? We went with a couple of our friends to this yoga class. Yoga class was great. I meet a guy in the yoga class and we're vibing, okay? I meet a guy and then after yoga class, we all went out to like a pho place to eat. We're still vibing, okay? This was the same night that I lost my expensive Ray-Ban sunglasses, which I am still upset about. But anyway, so we're all vibing. And then my friend's like, hey, you should bring him home. Like, he's hot. And I'm like, you know what? Okay. By the way, at this point, I was drunk because this yoga was like a wine and yoga, which the two should never be mixed. But I digress. So I was drunk by the time we left here. And my friend was like, you should bring him home. Great, nice guy, seems great, whatever. So I bring him home. Okay, now mind you, drunk, okay? We go to my bedroom. Now my bedroom had been a garage that was converted into a bedroom. And this is important because you have to know that the wall that my bed was up against was like basically a brick wall, okay? So I'm in this garage that's now been turned into a bedroom, but this is important for later, okay? So we get down to business, okay? He's behind me, hitting it from the back, okay? I'm just gonna say it like it is. Picture the position that you're in, okay? All fours, if you will. He decides to grab my arms out from under me, but he didn't tell me he was gonna do this. So when he did this, I face plant into said brick wall, okay? Now, I'm knocked unconscious. I am concussed. I come to, the man's nowhere to be found, okay? I'm confused. I'm like, where am I? What day is it? My head is fucking pounding. Like the worst headache I've ever had. So I'm like, oh my God. So I get up and I stumble to my roommate's room because I'm like, I don't know what just happened. I don't know how long I've been asleep. Where did this guy disappear to? So I stumble to my roommate's room. The story just keeps escalating, okay? I stumble to my roommate's room. She's not in her bed. And I'm like, hey, Taylor. And I'm like whispering. I don't know why I'm whispering in my own house, but I'm whispering. I'm like, Taylor. She sits up from the side of her bed. She was on the floor. And she said, oh my God, Nicole, is that you? And I said, yeah, what's wrong? She proceeds to tell me, my dad is on his way. I'm already shitting myself. I'm like, oh God, she called her dad. Oh God, what happened? Why is your dad on the way? I don't want to have to explain myself to anyone else, okay? Why is your dad on the way? And she says, that guy that you brought home, she said, I was asleep in my bed. He came into my room and got in my bed and started touching me. And I'm like, oh my God, I brought home a rapist. Like I'm just like, oh my God. And she's terrified, okay? Her dad's on the way. Her dad gets there. The cops have been called. The man is hiding in our bushes. Needless to say, he runs away before the cops get there or before my friend's dad kills him. I never speak to him again, obviously. The next day, is where the adventure really escalates, because I go to get my workout in at the gym and I nearly pass out on the treadmill. And I'm like, something's wrong. Like, I feel like I'm going to vomit. My head won't stop pounding. I feel so sick. I go to the emergency room. Okay. The doctor wants to know how I got such a bad concussion. Yeah. So I had to explain to him how I got the concussion, because I can't come up with a lie on the spot of like how I banged my head so hard that my brain got rocked around in there. Anyway, so that was embarrassing. And then he literally was like, your roommate cannot let you go to sleep. He was like, this is a really bad concussion. You could have died. And I'm like, oh, okay. So not only did he knock me unconscious, he just left me there, because men are so great. And I truly feel like that's when my hatred for men really began. And also, lesson learned, don't bring strangers home.
I had been seeing this guy for a few months, and we had met organically through mutuals, and it just really seemed like we had a lot in common. Like, everything just really aligned. We had the same goals, same values, same lifestyle, and he was taking me on like really nice dates. We were going on like dinner dates, shopping dates, mini golf dates, like all of the things. We had gone on gym dates. He even went with me to Pilates. He was sending me floral arrangements, getting me little gifts, and he was getting like Ubers for me, taking care of transportation, planning everything, and just being like an overall really good communicator. And I felt really good about the connection because, like I said, we had mutuals, so he was vetted, and he also didn't have any social media, and he had never had a dating app, so I consider those to be like green flags in a guy. And he was a few years older than me, so he made it really clear to me that he was at a point in his career and in his life where he was just like really looking for a wife, a family, for something a little bit more serious. Like, not that he was putting pressure on it, but just like those were his goals and those were his values, and that's kind of like where he was looking and what he was hoping for. And I was like, okay, perfect, same. Like, I might be a little younger than you, but like that's like also where I'm at. Like, I am very traditional. Now, we talked about this a few times as we had been seeing each other for a few months, and during one of those conversations, one of his examples or comparisons that he drew was that he would never date a bottle girl. And now, to be clear, I don't think there's anything wrong with being in the service industry. Like, I did it to get through college. Like, I wasn't a bottle girl, but like I bartended, I served, whatever. And so like that maybe is like a little off-putting, like hindsight's 20/20, just wait for it. But in the moment, I was like, you know what, that makes total sense. Like, that lifestyle doesn't align if you're looking for something more serious, right? So I was like, okay, super like normal example. And to paint a picture of his character, he's just like very chivalrous, constantly like complimenting me, very giving, very kind. He's introducing me to his friends. Like, we have a lot in common. We have the same sense of humor. We're like laughing together. And then out of nowhere, he ghosts me. So I'm obviously super confused. Like, I'm kind of asking around. Mutuals don't really know anything. Like, he hasn't spoken on the topic. And I just let it go. I'm like, you know what? Like, it is what it is. Like, I can't force this man to answer me. So a month goes by, and I'm talking to a mutual, and they tell me that he said that he would never be able to, quote unquote, be with a girl like me because he would have to change his entire lifestyle. What? Hold on a second, I thought our lifestyles were so aligned. Like, that's what he's telling me. And to be clear, he was not just agreeing with me. He was the one, like, explaining his hobbies, like, telling me what he likes to do for fun, what he's looking for in a romantic partner in a long-time relationship. And I'm the one agreeing. They go on to apologize and tell me that they actually didn't know him that well either, because it turns out that he actually had a coke addiction, was obsessed with EDM, going to concerts, and going out clubbing, like, every night. Like, yeah, maybe he was working out in the morning and like going to work, but that's what he was actually doing in his free time. And then they tell me that he is now involved with a bottle girl at Tao that he met on Hinge. So I am absolutely floored, because I am like, what do you mean the man that I had been talking to for months is not at all who he said that he was? Because he's what? Like, that was my reaction. I was at a genuine loss for words. Because I, like, for real, just got catfished IRL. And I think the thing that actually confuses me the most about all of this is, like, I was not hooking up with this man. Like, I literally was not. So what on earth was he getting out of this? Like, he was putting in so much time and energy and, quite frankly, money into this. For what? Like, he knew he couldn't pretend forever. I am not saying that all men are like this by any means, but this man in particular has certainly made me question if I really know people or not. Because that's the scary part, like, you never really know if you know.
Hello, today I'm going to be telling you the story of the time I went on a date with a offender. Stupidly. Innocently. It was very bad. I shouldn't even be allowed to tell the story, but I'm telling the story because I do not want you guys to be as stupid as I was. I was very, very stupid in this story, and this is why you do not trust anybody you meet. Let's tell the story. It has a lot of twists and turns, so buckle up because it just gets crazier. Okay, let's take it back to my college town, aka Texas A&M University, Gig'em, where I lasted about 2 years because shit like this kept happening to me. So first things first, I meet this guy because I go to this local bar. It's called Hurricane Harry's. It is now closed. R.I.P. Hurricane Harry's. But at the time it was open and it was freaking popping. And it's like a dancing place. You go there and you two-step and play pool, drink some beers. I go there to dance and have a night. And while I'm there, this guy, he finds me and he asks me, like, do you want to dance? You look so fine this night. Do you want to dance? I'm like, yeah, like, I want to dance. So we go and we two-step. And then, that's fun and dandy. I go home by myself. Good job, girl. Applaud me. It's really hard to go home by yourself because men try to convince you that you're better off sleeping in their bed, which you're not. I can promise you you're not. A few months later, he hits me up via Snapchat for I don't know why. And he's like, you know what? Let's go on a date. I want to take you on a date. And I was like, a date? Like, I would love to go on a date. I don't know what was going on in my life that I said yes to go on a date with this man, but I was just like, yeah, like, let's go on a date. I was just trying things. College is about exploring. I was like, let's go on a date. What do you want to do? He was like, I was thinking I cook for you at my apartment. And no red flags went off in my head. I was, yeah, that's totally normal. Like, I'm gonna go to your apartment and you're gonna cook for me. Because, in college, you don't see the average man and think he's a threat, okay? So I was like, yeah, like, let's go to your house. That's the first mistake. He's like, how do you want to get here? Do you want to drive or do you want me to pick you up? And I was like, you can pick me up. That was the next mistake. Never let a man pick you up. You need to have your own form of transportation in case things get weird and you need to leave. Oh god, the story gives me the heebie-jeebies. I should not even be alive to tell the story, you guys. Like, that's how stupid I was. He takes me back to his apartment, which when we're driving back to his apartment, he tells me, he's like, by the way, I live by myself. I don't have any roommates. Which is weird, again, because in college, everyone has roommates. That's another red flag. Don't go to a guy's apartment, especially when nobody else is there. Then he tells me, oh, I'm on the rugby team also. So that's another red flag because that means this man is actually very, very strong and I am now in a place of danger. And the date went pretty normally. He made me some amazing food. Like some pasta that I'll never forget and some bruschetta. And in fact, it was like the best bruschetta I've ever had. So this man was, a registered sex offender, but he was also an amazing chef. Anyways, part of the story that like actually scares me so bad is the fact that I was in his apartment and I was like, doing my little snoopy snoop as I do as a girl. And I see this like ginormous machete. And I'm so stupid. I'm just like, oh, like, why do you have that? Like, why do you have that machete? And he's like, that machete? I use it to hunt. I'm like, cool. Like, I'm so stupid. So stupid. The night winds down, and I'm lucky that he takes me back to my house. Okay? When I was at his house, I kind of got some weird vibes, and that's why I never went on a second date. Fast forward, like, 6 months later, my friend goes to jail, and I pick her up from jail. And I'm like, girl, how was jail? She was like, you'll never guess who I saw in jail. I was like, who did you see? And she was like, I saw that guy you went on a date with. I was like, what? That one? The one that made me bruschetta? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, no way, right? Because that's like such a coincidence. I was like, we have to snoop and see what he's being charged for. So everyone's charges are public. So I go onto like the local Facebook and I find his mugshot and his charge. And we're laughing. We're like, oh, he probably is like, got arrested for like public intoxication. You click on it, he got arrested for sexual assault. And I actually was speechless. I didn't have anything to say. I was just staring at it. I was inside this man's home, like at his apartment, and now he's gone to jail for sexual assault. But all I know is that I was stupid. I was a stupid girl, and I'm lucky to be here telling the story. Like, there was several red flags that I did not pick up on. I just want you guys to be smarter than I was. That's all. That's why I tell the story. I want you guys to know to not do what I do and to learn from my mistakes because I was a silly, stupid little girl. I'm surprised that I've made it this far, TBH. So, I live so we can learn, basically, bottom line. Stay sexy, amazing, and I hope you enjoyed.